Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be teaching you how to repair the seats on your Maserati. So there are four main issues with the seats in the Maserati Gransport. The first is if you have a full leather seat, you'll have a soft coating on the back of your seat, like this one, and if I can just get where the lighting's right, you can see how this one's deteriorated quite badly, that if I touch it, I'll leave a fingerprint, and it will leave a mark on my finger, so you don't want anyone getting anywhere near that. It is absolutely awful. So that's issue number one. The second issue is if you have the technical cloth interior. This is the reason you don't want the technical cloth, because the way that it's made, the foam backing inside it separates, and then it starts coming through the mesh, leaving this horrible sticky feeling right in the seat. And before anyone says, oh, that's just because it's a well-used or well-worn car, on the back of the seat, which is also covered in technical cloth, you can see the same issue with the foam coming through the backing. And this is the main reason you do not want to get one of these cars with the cloth interior, because it starts raining out of the roof because of the technical cloth roof. So that's issue number two. Issue number three is related to the quick release, so that you can get access to the back. These have a tendency, they've got like an easy access mode that allows the car to move the seat forward, and then when you put it back in place, it will remember its position and go back to where it came from. There's a micro switch in these which fails, and that stops them from working. And issue number four is that the car will not return to its memory position, and it will just kind of move back and forwards because the motors jam up. Now that's actually caused by the grease on the rails and the gears getting sticky over time, and that can be cleaned up. Now, to fix the back issue, you have to remove the backing from the car. And when you take it off and you clean all the goop off using a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and soap, you get left with this. And this is actually a paint primer, so if you sand this smooth, you can paint straight onto it again. I, however, have decided to go down a different route. I had some carbon fiber parts manufactured specifically to replace that shell, so that I can never ever deal with the problem of deterioration ever again. So you can see that that weave matches exactly with what's in the car. So these are something that I had custom made, and I will be going through the process of putting one of these on today. I'll also be re-greasing the rails, which is the main reason I have the seats out of the car, because it's actually a lot easier to take that backing piece off while the seat's in the car, because you've got the motors and you can tilt it backwards and forwards. But I will be doing a little bit more today, so I needed to get it out. And one of the things that I'll also be doing is I'm actually going to be replacing this piece of leather with this piece of leather, so that my seat looks brand new. So the part everyone wants to know what to do is how to remove this back section, because this is the most common issue with the cars. It's actually really easy. You can see on this one that there's a channel that runs all the way around, and it's also down here at the bottom. And on the inside there's these little flappy bits that just kind of hang around in some clips. So all you end up doing is you go around and you unpick all the leather clips all the way around, which is really easy. Once the leather's removed, you undo the 4 screws that hold this in, and then you can just yoink it off, and these will bend out of the way, and that's it. So I'll show you that process now. Again, this is a lot easier with it in the car, since you can make the seat tilt around as you want, but it's a little bit too hard to film, so things I do for you guys. We'll start by just giving these a good yoink, and out they pop. So now that's completely clear, so you don't forget to do anything that you're supposed to. I'm going to use a hooked awl, AWL, to go and unpick all the clips along the way, because it's a thin little piece and it'll be easy to get where I need it to. The other thing that I like to use are Allen keys, for the same reason, except they're not sharp. So start at the bottom, as that's the easiest place to access. So you just got to get into the side of the tubing with whatever tool will fit best. Usually the awl will go in, and then I can use the Allen key, which is thicker, and then off it pops. That's it. That's all it takes. So there's 3 of those clips along the bottom. So now I can pull that leather out from the bottom. And along the side here, this can be a little bit more difficult because there's these like little pointy clips. But once you get it going like that, it will come out, and these are the sharp clips that I'm talking about just here. So these little sharp clips are wedged into the plastic channel, so they will get caught, so just be more patient with those. You may find that the leather is also taped onto the foam insert, so just be mindful when you go to take this off that you might need to be patient. So now that that leather is out of the way, get it round, and you will just need to gently pull the foam forward so you can see what's going on, and have a look for those screws on the shell. That's it. That's how you get them off. Now this bit of foam appears to be in better condition than the piece that I pulled off mine, so I'm going to swap that around as well. Before I go reassembling this, I'm going to hit all the joints, rails, everything with some brake cleaner. I'm then going to use a synthetic grease in all the joints, and I will then mush that in with a bit of silicone lubricant to help that go through. And any small piece I will hit with bead trimmer oil. This is the same sort of stuff that you get on sewing machines. It's quite resilient and it will last a long time, so I'll be putting that down the cable lines and all the other little moving parts as well, so that will help keep the whole thing lubricated. There are a couple of main issues with this piece. The first is that some of these holes at the back are occluded, so I'll just drill those out. That's not a big issue. The second is that there are meant to be holes there for allowing the release of the seat to tilt forward. As you can see, they're meant to be there. So the markings are there, so the casting just didn't push them out correctly, so I'll be drilling those out. And the third is that these clips need to, in the original, these need to have enough flex to be able to get around the top of the frame. On this one, these were made too solid, so I'll actually need to get a Dremel and just cut that out so that there's a bit of flex. But these ones are fine, I was able to get those over the seat with no trouble. The trim pieces were originally held in using these split style rings, as well as up on the top here. I'm not really sure what they're called. I've seen them with different names. Where I am, the local hardware has them called shaft rings. Unfortunately I couldn't get a single size, so I had to get a bunch of different packs so that I'd have enough to reassemble it. But they just press over the bits of trim, and the easiest way to get them out is to cut them off. You're not going to have much luck trying to salvage the ones that you've got, so you're better off just letting them go to heaven, buying some new ones and reassembling from there. Getting this back on isn't hard. You just need a large flathead screwdriver to press the leather into the channel. You want a large one so that you spread the load and you don't tear the leather. This is a little bit more awkward, but not much than taking it off, because these are carbon fibre, they're quite a bit stiffer. So, and these have almost no flex in them at all. So what I ended up doing is coming in from above and pushing it down, and just doing one side at a time, and feeding it around, and pulling the other side around. There is enough flex to do it.